Hey, what's up? I'm Ga. Welcome back to Outerplane. So we just got an update. At first glance, it might seem kind of like a smaller, insignificant update, but no, this update is actually incredibly important, game-changing even. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to start with some of the fluffy bits first, before I dive into the real meat of everything. Alright, so we got a couple of events going on. This is the story event here, the Sun and Moon at Dawn. Then we have Moon Bunny's Blessing Coin Drop. This just gives you coins for playing the game normally, doing what you were going to do, and then you take those coins over to an event shop and exchange for goodies. Pretty simple, straightforward. Extra free stuff is always appreciated. And then we got Ye Old Webby Eventy. I like at least put little red dots on these things, like on like the actual side menu here, so people can remember to do them. Don't forget to do this stuff, because you do get a bunch of free stuff out of this. We got a couple log-in bonuses, just some free goodies. Looks like we got a Transistone at the end of that one, and another Transistone at the end of this one. So some summon tickets, some books, some gems, or ether, just free good stuff. And then I want to talk about the boss daily mission. So they took out the requirement to level up a character from this. The reason they did this is in case anyone had all their characters level 100 already. Seems good, seems good. So that is basically the main events going on. If you go over to the event shop, there are two event shops. We got one for the Sun and Moon at Dawn and one for the Moon Bunny event. Some good stuff in here. You know, you got some pieces, you got some Gluonite, and then most importantly, Transistones. We do have some accessories in here and a cute little lobby mascot, as well as a frame, of course, as always. The accessories are 5-star, but this one right here actually seems pretty solid. It's got a penetration main stat, it's got some pretty dang good substats, as well as an interesting ability. So it's going to increase your crit chance every turn, max of 5 stacks. With penetration, that seems pretty strong, but keep in mind it is for rangers. Now, the next accessory is for, it looks like defenders. And, you know, defenders like health, so that's pretty solid there. It looks like they designed this one for Christina and this one for Tamara, which is kind of weird because we want speed on Tamara. But anyway, this one seems okay. I'm not sure if I could recommend picking up this one, but if you are a player who is in the mid-game, finding yourself struggling to progress, then, you know, these are definitely going to be good pickups to help you out. We do have pieces of each character, and like I said, Gluonite and Transtones. For the Moon Bunny event, we have some pretty standard stuff. We got Gluonite, we got skill books, we got Transtones. Definitely worth keeping an eye on this shop and picking up everything you possibly can, because free stuff is good stuff. Now, let's move on to the new character. I think she's going to be all the way at the bottom of this list for me. Christina. So she is our very first fire type defender 3-star. So what she does, now looking at her abilities, she sets a precedent. So before Christina, only one character had the agile response ability. Now, they made some changes to agile response, and it's become a keyword with different effects, similar to like counterattack or revenge or anything like that. Christina has her own agile response, And what it does, when an opponent uses a non-attack skill, it increases the attack and defense of all allies for 2 turns, and increases her priority by 20%. And if you notice, she is a little faster for a defender. So she's going to be making use of that priority buff. She also buffs her own priority off of her skill 1 when attacking an enemy with no buffs. And that might seem kind of weird, but her ult inflicts unbuffable. So ideally, you would use her ult first and then be able to keep using her skill 1 and, you know, just kind of keep cycling her. She doesn't really do too much team support outside of agile response. If your opponent's not using a non-attack skill, this is basically dead. But, you know, she is a defender. She's going to be bulky. She's probably going to end up being used in raids. You know, you always want to have one defender on your team. But at the moment, there's not really a whole lot of content that fits her niche. So if you don't want her, you don't have to pull for her. She is not a must-have from, you know, my perspective, what I'm looking at here. She is definitely waifu. Like, she is super cute. Love her outfit. But if you want to pass on her, don't feel bad. So, just because we don't really have something where she can be, like, super useful, at least at the moment. Overall, solid character, but most importantly sets a precedent for the future because of the agile response ability. We don't know what we're going to get in the future. We could get, like, a character with agile response that increases, I don't know, like attack and accuracy or crit rate or effectiveness whenever something happens. So something unique like this has me hopeful for the future. And, like, Outerplane's just getting better. Like, it just keeps getting better. And, yeah, I'm excited to see what they do next, especially in terms of agile response skills. Now, the biggest thing, the big one, most important piece... Oh, wait, hold up. Battle Pass. We gotta talk about Battle Pass because Tamara has a maid outfit now, and she is not happy about it. Just look at that face. She is so mad to be in this outfit. But you should be happy because we get tons of goodies from this, which is always nice. Like I always say, if it's free, it's for me. Now, the real meat, the real sausage, the good stuff. We got a new armor boss, the Grand Calamari. So the Grand Calamari is going to be dropping 4 armor sets. The immunity set. I'm going to talk about this one because this one's important. It's a game changer for real. We got the swiftness set, which is a crisis speed set. We have the weakness set, which increases damage against debuffed enemies. This could be interesting in some certain scenarios. Mostly PvE as opposed to PvP. We have the augmentation set, which increases damage while buffed. This one, I think, is significantly more useful than the weakness set, because it is much easier to buff your own team than it is to debuff the enemy team. And that is it. Those 4 sets. Now, you might be wondering why I am so hyped about the immunity set. Now, before this boss came out, the only way to get immunity set was from Chapter 2 of Season 2, Hard Mode, and you could only get... you'd only get 5-star green pieces. Let me see here. Yeah, right here. You could only get it in 5-star green. So that meant the overall stats on the piece, as far as main stat and substats, were going to be lower. It was only going to come with 2 stats to begin with, and then you would have to roll for the next 2, and then overall you would just have lower stats. So, why I'm so hyped, and I feel like a lot of people are hyped about the Grand Calamari and the immunity set, is now we have access to 6-star pieces, especially red ones. This is going to make builds with the immunity set much stronger, because more stats equal better set equal better team, etc, etc, etc. You kind of see where I'm going with this. You can farm out for some really good pieces, and now if you have, for whatever reason, I can't imagine that anyone has excess transit stones lying around, this would be something to use them on, so you can get a perfect immunity set. Now, why is this set so good? Technically 3 reasons. Number 1 being Tamara, number 2 being Valentine, number 3 being Nadia, and there's a 4th secret reason. She's just not up here. Alice. So these 4 characters I feel like are the big gatekeepers of PvP. Now, Tamara in PvP is incredibly oppressive because of her skill 3. If she goes first, lands a crit on any one enemy, she inflicts cooldown reduction or increase, or she debuffs cooldown, is what I'm trying to say, on all enemies. And this is incredibly problematic because it essentially turns PvP into a coin flip. Whoever's Tamara goes first will essentially win, because she shuts down things in characters' kits like revives, she shuts down their skill 2s, which might have revenge or agile response. So they are literally locked into skill 1, and it's just a problem. So now with immunity set, you have protection against this. Your team will no longer just get bodied after a single Tamara has fired her ult off and landed 1 crit. Now, because of the immunity set, basically what I said for Tamara, you can also apply it to Valentine. Valentine's skill 3, skill 3. If, your Tamara is faster than your opponent's Tamara, but not faster than their Valentine could go and debuff your priority, making their Tamara faster, and then you just kind of lose from there. And since you're not getting hit with debuffs turn 1, Nadia won't be able to use her follow-up from her skill 2, her swift support, which means no silenced. That would get stopped from, the immunity set anyway. But, if someone was building their Nadia on, like, penetration and max damage for that follow-up attack to try to get a KO, that is no longer possible, because she only does this when an ally on her team lands a debuff. So you don't have to worry about your opponent going into, like, Tamara's ult followed up by Nadia's ult, and then suddenly, half your team is already wrecked. In that same regard, you don't have to worry about Alice going, skill 2, landing her effectiveness debuff or whatever she has on her skill 2. Inflicts reduced effectiveness. You don't have to worry about that going into Nadia, and then you don't have to worry about getting hit with unbuffable. So all of these speedy debuffers, now we have an answer for them, and that's the immunity set. So PvP is going to open up quite a bit. Things might change to where we go back to stall meta, or back to, like, the old version of cleave. But it's going to be really interesting to see how access to 6-star immunity sets changes things up, because I do believe that there's going to be some real big changes coming in PvP as soon as people start farming out their immunity set and start getting it geared up and getting it optimized. So it's definitely something to look forward to if you're looking for more variety in PvP, things are definitely going to change. But yeah, that is kind of everything, honestly. A lot of good stuff, nothing bad as far as I can tell. There's a little bit of content, new armor set to grind, some changes in PvP. Things are looking up, things are looking great. The devs kind of delayed the update for whatever reason, but it's no biggie. There wasn't anything like bad that happened, so all good from my perspective. And like honestly, this game is just fucking goated. So I'm gonna get out of here. I am hungry. I'm gonna go eat lunch. I'm gonna go farm some more immunity set. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.